You are probably watching this video for one of the following reasons. A, you probably watched the recent concert for Honkai, which was absolutely amazing. B, you probably watched one of the cutscenes regarding to Honkai and his story and you want to know more about it. Or C, you're just a Genshin player looking for other MiHoYo games or HoYoverse games and saw Honkai as one of the recommendations. Now, Honkai is definitely one of the more amazing games that are out there. It's a really fun game to play, but there is one problem with it. It is a really hard barrier to entry when it comes to knowing what to do and what are the do's and don'ts for this game. There's a lot of stuff plattered around the screen, and this video is going to be helping you with that. So let's get right into the beginner's guide for Genshin players. Let's get right into it. Honkai Impact 3rd is a really amazing game once you get into it, but of course you're here for one reason and one reason only, is because you want to understand how to get around and what to do and what not to do in this game as a beginner. Now, of course, I've played a lot of Genshin, and playing Genshin, which most of y'all may come from, is going to make this a little bit easier to explain. If you already know a lot of the terms in Genshin, I'll be correlating that to this game right here. It's not as hard as you think. It is a lot thrown at you at once, especially when you're first logging in. You are going to be seeing a lot in your screen at once, especially this screen right here. The only thing you're not going to be seeing is this little icon right here, the elf. You don't get that till later on in the game once you're a higher level. Now, we're going to start off with the basics, with what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. First of all, when it comes to Honkai, the number one thing you want to do with your stamina is especially the story. The story right here is they're going to throw you straight into it, so that's the one good thing. This is what you're going to be spamming your stamina on constantly, alright? Now, of course, take it at your own pace. You want to enjoy the story and you want to, take it all in, because the story is amazing. If you've watched the concert that came out recently, if you watched a lot of the cutscenes that are on YouTube that HoYoverse has on their channel, you're going to want to know what's going on in the story to make those hit a lot harder, to enjoy those things that they put out a little bit more than somebody who hasn't done the story or hasn't played this game. This is definitely the first thing you want to do with your stamina. This is the number one thing I recommend everyone do with your stamina once you get into the game, because you will have a lot of it. Not only will you have the basic amount that recharges, you'll have a bunch of refill items that you will get later on in the game. As much as you level up at the start, you're going to be getting a lot of these, so you're going to be able to play the story for a long time if you want to grind it or not. One thing I really want to say and preface, this event chapter thing up here, you do not want to touch this. Do not touch this. This is just for you get rewards and stuff for playing this part of the story. But this part of the story is really far, and I mean really far, into what we're at now. You do not want to touch this. Do not touch this event chapter, because this is just so you can get rewards while you're playing the story. You don't need those right now. One chapter that was a event chapter was a lot of these ones down here, especially this one up here, is going to be a lot of stuff that is like this. It might change in the future, because once a new set of chapters come out, then more rewards are able to be get from them. So do not touch this new journey event chapter stuff. Stay where it starts with the moon's origin and ending, and go down from there. It's really easy to keep going once you're in the game. So chapter 1, chapter 2, keep going down all the way down. Once you reach the end, which will be a long time, you would then get to the event chapter or whatever is up here next. Now, the next thing you want to be spending your stamina on, the thing I'm prefacing a lot, is your stamina, because a lot of people don't know what to do with it. A lot of people don't want it to overflow, which if it does overflow, it will be packed up for you, something that Genshin does not have, and it will be thrown into this stamina container, so you can just pick it up if you're overflowed. It will not take everything that you are missing, but it will keep some of the stamina. Other than the story, you really want to also work on this starter's manual right here. I am a slightly newer player, but I've done a lot of research. I played the game for a strenuous amount of time, to the point where I'm level 83 already in the starter period. Having the starter manual makes learning this game a lot easier, but of course, me personally, I was that Genshin player that didn't know a lot about Honkai, that needed a lot of researching and mentoring to understand how this game goes. You want to work on the story. You want to work on the starter's manual. This starter's manual will help you, especially with how to, go around the game. This growth regimen right here is your number one thing you want to look at after you're doing the story or while you're doing the story, because it'll teach you a lot of things like, make sure to beat this chapter of the game. Make sure to pull on, some of the banners in the game. make sure to complete the stages on a certain chapter, do the tutorial for some of these mechanics. This game will guide you as much as you need it to, or as much as it would take to get you to learn the basics through this growth regimen. So I really want y'all to go inside the story, do the story. When you don't want to do the story anymore, you want to take a break, go to the growth regimen, and you also want to go to the training plan right here, the training notes. This will give you little challenges to do, and you will be able to get rewards from these challenges and some characters. The thing with this starter update, or this new update, is that there's a lot of starter event rewards, so it makes it a little easier to build up your account from, of course, someone who's been playing for a long time. You do get stuff fairly quickly because of this starter event type thing. It's going to be in Honkai is how you build your teams. Now, the way you build your teams in this game is a lot different than how you would do it in Genshin. In Genshin, you really like mix around with elements and stuff to be able to have reactions and stuff like that. We do not do that here in Honkai. In Honkai, we have a different thing, which is mono teams. So you know how you would do mono pyro, mono cryo in Genshin? That is what all this game is. You are going to be only using one element for each team. So it's going to be this team right here for me is physical team. This one right here is my lightning team. Yes, Fischl is in this game. I did not mean to switch them. My fire team, my ice team. We are not mixing and mingling any type of elements together because they do not create reactions. It is just based on one element. So, you know, you would have your primary DPS and then you would have your supports. This is how it goes for this game and Genshin. Genshin and Honkai do share a similarity with having to prioritize supports in the game. Luckily enough, tells you if they're a support character. Now they have this little SP symbol on there. And these SPs, don't worry about having to summon for them or anything, because you are able to just buy these right out the gate. You don't have to really do much to earn these guys. It's not that hard. But that is for another video or another thing. It isn't really important to know where this is at because they'll show you where all of these things are. It's really easy to grind these guys up to a certain level, and they're completely free to play, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, besides the teams, which is in this game, like I said, only do one element per team. There's one thing that you also need to know, and that's how to build these units. Now, these units follow a little bit of a similar structure as Genshin, where you have their weapon. A lot of people have their signature weapon, so this is something that each one has. They can't really... A lot of the weapons in this game don't really mix well with other units, especially maybe you have like blue ones or green ones. This is at the start of the game. You will probably just chuck them onto whatever character. It doesn't matter then. But in the future, there are weapons that are specifically for a certain unit. It's not like Genshin where you can have like a mist splitter or you can have a jade sword and you can put on any character and they'll just go crazy with it. This game is a little bit more signature weapon style. There's only for them type of weapon because there's a lot of passives that only work for them. So unlike Genshin, these weapon types or these weapons are solely for one character. You can put them on multiple characters, or one character at a time, but they won't work as well as it would for other characters that is supposed to be on. Another thing that is similarity to Genshin is we do have artifacts. Technically, in this game they're called stigmata. In this game you only need 3 artifacts, quote unquote, one being the top, middle, and bottom. You do get some of these free to play. They do come with the starter manual that I talked about before. Like I said, a lot of these are very hyper specialized that these only go for like one unit. There are certain stigmata or artifacts that do go on every type of unit or help a certain amount of units in that element. It's like some stigmata or artifacts will help only lightning or only ice or only physical, but you can put them on multiple units. Unlike this one that I have on this character is hyper specialized for her only. And then other than that, we do have this, but you can honestly spam like upgrade most of these. You get a lot of resources at the start. You will understand which units are good and which units are bad in the future. It will take a little bit of looking up, but it's not hard to understand once you look up one video seeing which units are good and which units are not. But this is the main similarity with how Genshin has their characters and how we have our characters in Honkai. There are constellations in this game, but the constellations that are really crazy to get, like I mean you need to spend some money to get these guys. But there are constellations for those of you that are a whale that want to get into Honkai. We do have outfits in this game for characters just like Genshin, so there's a little bit of similarity right there too. Now, one thing that a lot of people want to know is how is the summoning? The summoning in this game is a little bit, I guess you could say, it's not complicated at all really. It just takes a little bit of explaining. Just like the standard banner in Genshin where you don't want to summon on it because it's not worth your stones, this is the same thing with the dorm supply on the game that's at the very start. It's at the very top of the summon list. You do not want to summon on this banner right here. Because you will get these purple looking cards frequently throughout the game. You will be getting your first S rank, which is a 5-star in Genshin. You will get your first S rank within 2 multis, and that's really easy to get at the very start of the game with these purple cards. So only spend these purple cards on this banner. You can't use it anywhere else. Keep your gems for the 3 banners I'm about to mention right now, which are the starter supply. This is only available to those that are starters, which of course many of you will be transferring from Genshin to Honkai. These are one of the 2 best units in the game. We have the Hersher of Sentience, which of course it says top physical support. She is basically needed for physical teams to be super good. She is one of the best units in the game. She can be DPS. She is super crazy as a support. She is one of the better units in the game. And then we got Hersher of Flame Scion. Now these Hershers are like Archons, I guess you could say, in the Honkai verse. These guys are super strong. Most of the time when a Hersher comes out, they are going to be pretty meta relevant for the time being. Now this Hersher Flame Scion is going to be a flame DPS or a fire DPS. Unlike the physical support we have right here, this is a top fire damage dealer, which of course it's actually correct, not like most gacha games get these details correct, but these are the 2 best units that are in the game. There are banners that you can summon for their equipment. Now it depends a lot on what banners are out at the time, but you do have to summon on their banners for their weapon, and the weapon will also have their stigmata on it too. You have to get 3 pieces of the stigmata and 1 piece for the weapon. Now another thing is that there will be, the expansion supply is the limited banner units. The expansion supply is where you will get your limited 5 stars, quote unquote. This will change frequently. There will always be the time limit here. Some of these banners will not have this, I guess you could say, reward system for summoning. You do get your first S rank from this banner within 99 drops. So you will get them in under 10 multis guaranteed. There's no 50-50 in this game. There's no other 5 stars on the banner but the limited unit. So you do not have to worry about a 50-50. You do not have to worry about anything else. But once you hit this pity or once you get an S rank, it will be the character that is on the banner. Other than that, there will be some A ranks listed with the S rank, so you don't have to worry that much in terms of, worrying, oh, I'm going to lose the 50-50, I'm going to have to spend more stones. No, you literally only have to summon 10 times, and, well, not 10 times, but you have to multi 10 times, and you'll be fine. This is the expansion supply. So like I said, this is a limited banner. The weapon banner is the focus supply. Now the focus supply will change rapidly, not super rapidly, but it will change a lot. Most of the time focused A will be the expansion supply, is weapon banner. This is where you'll get the stigmata and the weapon. Most of the time each piece of equipment is guaranteed to drop in within 50 drops or 5 multis. So this is where you'll be pulling for their gear, for their artifacts per se. The artifacts are not grindable really. There are some that you can get free to play, but most of them you will have to summon. You'll naturally accrue these during your time playing Honkai, so you don't have to worry as much when it comes to having these units, because you can build some and you'll be fine for starting the game. This will change rapidly. The focus B is usually some other units weapon banner. So say you pulled the character, say I pulled this character now, and I didn't get her weapon right now because I just don't have any stones. Well, maybe in the future it will come back when another unit's right here, but it will be the weapon for the limited 5-star before that I'm trying to get right now. So like I said, I'm gonna sum this up. Oh, also we do have outfits that you can summon on and stuff, and it's up to the person that is summoning, but usually you would stay away from these if you're really free to play or you really like the character. But to sum it up, Dorm Supply is a standard banner. Do not summon on this unless you have these purple cards. You get these really easy. They're like the Acquaint Feint from Genshin. The expansion supply is the limited banner, just where you get your limited 5 stars, quote unquote, and the focus supply, focused A, is usually where you would get the limited 5 stars banners, weapon, and artifacts. And focus B would be an unrelated weapon and artifact for another unit. So that is pretty much the summoning system for Genshin. It's not really that hard to understand. It's just it's with a lot of stuff in this tab. It kind of makes it overwhelming for people that don't understand. But once you break it down, that dorm supply just is a standard banner, expansion supply is a limited banner, and focus supply A is the limited 5 stars weapon banner. So it's not that hard once you follow and get it explained to you. There are things within the summoning banner so that you can get not a free version of the equipment, but if you get a lot of dupes, you can turn one into something that you don't have. So that's pretty good that Honkai has for us. Another thing that is in Honkai is going to be the Spiral Abyss. Now the Spiral Abyss won't open up immediately. There's 2 versions of it, I guess you can say. One's a little bit more simplified and the other is floor based. This will be called Q Singularis or Q Manifold when you start the game, because once you turn level 80 you get something different. But for the Q Singularis or Q Manifold, there will be a certain type of, I guess you could say, similar experience to the Spiral Abyss in Genshin that it is to Honkai. You'll be going through floors, defeating enemies, and if you beat it within a certain time, you might get promoted, demoted, or stay in the same grade, which affects your rewards very minorly. It's not that crazy to worry about. You'll lose a little bit of crystals if you don't complete it in a certain amount of time, but once you're in the levels that you are in right now as a starter, don't worry about it too much. It's not going to affect you. You're probably going to roll it through a good amount of times until you hit the very end, where you're level 70, level 60. That's when the power creep really hits, but until then you'll be fine, don't worry. And Memorial Arena is literally Spiral Abyss, but only bosses. So you'll just fight the same boss multiple times. It'll get a little harder each time, and the faster you beat it, the more points you get, the more rewards you get. That's pretty much it. It's not that hard to understand these 2 modes that are going to be right here. Now, a lot of these extra things that are in this same tab, you will not see until you're later on into the game. But you will earn the Universal Mirage pretty early as well. And this is just so that you can farm materials to build weapons and build stigmata or artifacts that you'll need for certain units. Each one is themed for a certain element. Like I said, this game is based on mono teams and no mixed elements. So you are going to be using specific teams to be able to play this game, not really mixing elements. One is for ice, one is for fire, one is for lightning, and one is for physical. These are the 4 types of damage that you can do in this game. There's a little bit more to this game, but you don't have to worry beyond having an ice team, a fire team, a physical team, and a lightning team. That will come naturally as you get more characters. There are things called types, such as this one has biologic, this one is psychic, this one is mecha. There are things just like in other gacha games where there's typings, and certain typings do more damage to other typings and some do less damage to others. That's kind of like what is in this game as well. You would need, in the far future or something, maybe you'll need a lightning of each type or something like that. That doesn't matter. Don't stress yourself out. You only need 1 damage dealer of whatever element you're going to be using. So I'm going to be rocking with this lightning character. I'm going to be rocking with this ice character. It's not that much of a problem until you want to be top meta or top competitive, for you to have certain typings of certain elements. So don't stress yourself out on the Spiral Abyss, because later on when you hit level 80, it does turn into oh, I am doing better, I'm doing worse. Then certain characters, you'll be based on timing, and they'll put you against certain people. This is not till you're far end game. When you're super end game, this is when you're gonna get this. So you'll be ready by then, as long as you manage your account okay. You don't have to be strenuous with, oh my god, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that because I'm gonna be doing this later. No, just play the game regularly, you'll be fine. You don't even have to do any of this if you don't want to in the future. There is an event tab down here with a bunch of events that you'll probably be able to do. These do give materials that you will be using, or gems that you will get with currency that's within the event. So there's going to be a lot of different events, a lot of different stuff here with different gameplay. A lot of them are like mini games, some of them are just combat based. So these are the events that you're going to do. A lot of these won't open up, like I said, until you are higher in level, because of course they don't want to overwhelm you at the very start. We do have a tactics class right here, which allows you to learn and play with a bunch of different characters to see which ones you like, which ones that you want to summon for in the future. It will tell you if they're currently summonable with the supply rate up tag on them. So this one's summonable, this one's summonable, this one's summonable. All of these guys that are with that little tag are the ones that are summonable at the moment. Other than that, another thing that is in this game that is not that hard to explain either is the open world tab. Now, open world is not, like I said, crazy. It's not super open world. It's a little bit restrictive, and you don't really do that much, but like go to quest markers that it shows you. In the future, you will earn a lot more stages. These two are more story based. The post Honkai Odyssey, these are events that take place after the initial Honkai storyline. You can play these at the very start of the game once open world is unlocked to you, and you play a little bit of the first stage, which is this one right here. You will be just doing some objectives, some side quests. Once you hit certain levels, you can kill certain enemies for crystals and stuff. But the main thing about open world is you'll get this little tab for adventure tasks. Adventure tasks are kind of like commissions in a way. In Genshin, you're going to go inside the map, you're going to go kill something, you're going to go protect something, and then you get some rewards based on it. So you'll, this would be like, oh, go get some stuff throughout the map, and then you get this done. Go defeat these units right here in like a minute or something, and you'll get this stuff. It's not anything hard. You just pick up tasks and it'll give certain rewards. You can pick which rewards you want, and then you're done. You log out of the open world, you collect your stuff, and then you're done. A lot of the stuff here isn't really hard to understand or hard to go through. It's just you need a little bit of explanation. I understand. It was me at first. I didn't understand what was going on. I really was, overwhelmed with all the stuff here, but it took a lot of videos, a lot of, trial and error to understand this. And I hope this video did help a little bit with understanding how this game is, with explaining the summoning mechanics, explaining how characters are in this game, explaining, the open world, the story, the, what is it called? The spiral abyss, I guess you could say here. There's a lot more to this game, but you will learn that in your own pace. There's things like the co-op raid where you're going to be playing with other people and do some missions to get a little bit of rewards, to get some free to play gear. This is, something really simple, something you can learn on your own once you get to it. And then material expedition, these are going to be like your daily materials, something that you should be doing every day. These 4 events right here. I think it's only 3 at the start or 2 at the start. And you'll be doing these every single day. This is something that you want to do every day until you're just going to be doing these every day, because it gives you a lot of materials, stuff that's super needed to get or super needed to have in Honkai, such as like XP. These things right here give you stuff for free to play characters, money, all that type of stuff. And then later on in the future, you don't even have to do these stages anymore. You can literally just click a button and then they'll just auto complete all of them for you, and you're done, as long as you have the stamina. And then in this tab right here, the expedition as well, you will be able to grind these characters right here. Now, it is very, very long process to do this. I don't recommend spending your stamina really on doing this until you've like finished the story. You've done all your stamina needed related quests, you've done your starter guide, all that type of stuff. Other than that, you can grind for these characters. They should come fairly easy if you summon or multi on certain banners. You can get a bunch of these guys. All of these do give gems as well on completion, just like the other stages in Honkai. After you've done a certain amount of things in there, like don't get knocked down, don't die, all that type of stuff, you get some gems, through all of these stages. So yes, there is plenty of gem sources in this game to have. A lot more of these will be unlocked the higher you get your level. So like I said, don't worry about a lot of the stuff in this game being, crazy. You can do this at your own pace. One thing for sure, just do the story, do the starter manual. You'll find your way learning a lot once you do those 2. And you'll have some fun with the story, especially with, the concert that just came out. A lot of the stuff regarding, the cutscenes and stuff that people want to learn. You're going to be having fun. You'll be learning the game. If you're solely playing this game just for the story and just for the lore, oh my lord, you're going to be in such for a ride. You just pop into this tab right here and you are gonna go crazy, man. I swear this game is so good. It's absolutely amazing. So other than that, thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully I've explained a good amount of what's in this game. See y'all in the next one, and peace.